Good morning. My name is Rachel, and I am the Thrifty Crocheter. And on my front porch again today. 365 days of kindness. Today is Tuesday, I guess the 27th. Fight bravely. Be courageous. Let us fight bravely for our people and the cities of our God. May the Lord's will be done. 2 Samuel 10:12. Reading or watching the news can leave us feeling pretty hopeless about the state of our world. We see stories of people whose lives have been ruined by injustice, discrimination, war, and natural disasters. The lives of those who are vulnerable to personal destruction need protection, and it needs to come from those of us who are strong enough to help. This is the time to be courageous, to stand up for those who are weak and hurting. We need to allow the pain of others to affect us enough to do something about it. Fight bravely for these people. Pray, offer practical and financial help, stand in solidarity with the marginalized, and watch the love of our compassionate God change lives, cities, and nations. Act of kindness. Send a donation to a charity. Yes. Whether it's monetary or you're cleaning out your closets and donating your clothes to, like, when your local thrift stores. I'm not going to give them my name, but you know which ones are out there. Or you want to make a blanket for Boggy Creek. Yes. Or, whatever charities you have in town, if you want to make projects for, do that too. Or you want to make, like, soap sacks and washcloths for, like, the homeless. I mean, they need those too. Whatever. Just whatever you can donate to a homeless shelter, they would appreciate it. Daily guide post 365 spirit lifting devotions for grandmothers. August the 27th. There is a time for everything, a time to be born and a time to die. Ecclesiastes 3:1 and 2. I watch out the car window as the scenery zips by. Fields of corn and beans, freshly painted red barns, and herds of grazing Holsteins. As a kid growing up, and even as an adult taking my kids on car trips, we try to go through smaller towns instead of the big highways. Because in big highways you don't see as much. You might see some barns here and there, but it's more fun to go through the small towns and see all the interesting things that you see. But anyway, I've made this trip to the small town. See, small town. I've made this trip to the small town where I grew up hundreds of times. I have a grandmother who lives in what I call a tiny blink and you miss it town. But I realize as I look at my son-in-law driving and my daughter sitting beside him, I've never before made it sitting in the back seat. I was always the one driving, each mile bringing me closer to my mother and my sister, closer to the warm familiarity of going home. But now my sister was retired to Florida and my mother is buried in the small cemetery down the road from where she lived. Small feet kick against the car seat and the sound of the rattle breaks into my thoughts. I turn to look at my 6-month-old grandson, Drake. He smiles and bangs the rattle against his leg. I reach for his hand and begin singing silly rhymes. Later, I stand at Mother's grave, shaded by the branches of a giant tree. The only sounds are the calls of birds high overhead. With Drake in my arms, I kneel to place a bouquet of purple roses, Mother's favorite color, at the base of her headstone. She would have loved you so very much, I whispered into the soft baby neck. Suddenly, Drake leans forward and his tiny hand pats the warm granite. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere in the halls of heaven, Mother smiles at the touch of her great-grandson's hand on her shoulder. Comfort us, Father, with the continuing blessing of your love, in this life and in the one beyond. Let us teach it to our children and our children's children. Mary Lou Carney. Oh, my goodness. You know, it's funny that I read this one today, because yesterday I was thinking about visiting my mother today. I mean, it's past their anniversary, but it's before her birthday. And I feel bad that I haven't gone to see her yet since we buried her. And I was just thinking about visiting her today, and I read this. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just wowed. Like a God smack, like a God wink. Oh my. Wow. Well, the illustrated words of Jesus for Women, a daily devotion. I'm trying reading this one because I'm just so, wow. Okay. You must pray. And the verse that's going with this, and you'll see why in a minute, says, everyone who receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Luke 11:10. How marvelous is this verse? That's the verse line. That's why I read the verse. How marvelous is this verse? God is waiting to hear from you. He cares about what you care about. He wants to answer your prayers. The key is you must pray. Does that mean you can ask for anything you want and be sure that you get it? Of course not. You must know God by reading His Word. The better you know Him, the more you will understand His will for your life. Keep praying to seek God at work. The more you ask, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you know. Have you been praying for something for a very long time? Don't give up. God hears. He cares. He will answer in His time. Yes, He will. I've said that many, many times. God always answers our prayers. He may not always answer when we want the answer or how we want the answer, but He does answer. And it's in His time and the way that He wants the answer. He may be trying to show you something, or maybe he's stopping you because there's something else in the way of that like maybe he's protecting you from something else. You don't know what's in front of you. God does. He may be protecting you from something down the line. Or He might be preparing you for something else down the line as well. And he just wants you to wait so you will be prepared for that time. Humans, we just don't understand. And that's kind of a hard thing for us to try to understand something sometimes. Um, just like when you're a kid growing up in school and you're learning things in school, and sometimes you don't always understand it or get it the first time around. Um, and sometimes you got to study a little bit before you understand what's going on. Um, sometimes it takes a while to learn things. It takes a while. Um, and it is a little warm out today. I'm sitting here in the shade of my porch, and there's a slight breeze, so it's not as bad. I'm sorry, I look a little tired. I did not sleep well. I had a weird dream that woke me up at like 5 o'clock, and I didn't go back to sleep till almost an hour and a half later. And then I woke up again about 8:30, so I'm a little tired today. But all day yesterday, I was thinking about visiting Mom, and then this devotion came up. How coincidental is that? I mean, it's just. And lately these have been dealing with. Had several of those lately that have dealt with, having death in the family. And we all know that's hard to deal with, and grief is definitely a very sneaky thing, and it's always hard to let go. Yes, it is. And as usual, every time I come outside, I leave my cross out upstairs. But I pray for everybody, and first of all, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. I still need more watch hours. I'm at 307, trying to work towards that 500. And I thank each and every one of my subscribers. You mean so much to me. And I pray to all of you out there watching that you have a terrific Tuesday, a very wonderful week. If you are traveling anywhere, whether it's back and forth to work, or you're on vacation this week and you're visiting family and friends, may you have safe travels. Or if you're a truck driver, definitely safe travels. I know there's a lot of bad drivers out there. There's some good drivers out there. That's a lot. I know there's a lot of bad drivers out there who don't realize that your vision on the road isn't as far as we think we are. We're actually a lot closer to what we think they are. Sometimes they can't see us. Their blind spots are not as broad range as we think they are. And I've just known this from watching other people who are truck drivers and seeing their videos, and it's like, wow. But I pray everybody have safe travels this week. Wherever you're going, may you have safe travels. You have a nice place to stay. And you have fun wherever you are at. If you are working today, today's my off day. But if you are working today, I hope that you have a very awesome day at work. And I pray that you all have good weather. I know weather across this nation has been weird. Some places it's been hot. Some places in the mountains, I mean, we're in August, and some places in the mountain, like upper elevations of the mountains, are already getting snow. Last week we had some cooler days. This week we're back to warm days. It's like what they call like Indian summer, where it gets cold and it gets warm again before it gets cool again. It's like up and down. But when I can, I'm going to try to do some more stuff outside, like all these devotions outside, or maybe do some tutorials. outside. I can't talk straight. And after that devotion, I'm still in awestruck. um, but all of you have a very wonderful day and a wonderful week. And this month is almost over. We've only got a few more days. Sunday will be the 1st of September. This year has just been flying by way too fast. Just way too fast. Way too fast. I'm not looking forward to any of the holidays this year because of lost ones. Some very close lost loved ones. It's just too soon. Too hard. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm rambling now. Love y'all. Bye.